So this is the beginning of the unit that I would call is where do you store your JavaScript file. There's actually three places I'm going to talk to you about where to store it. Um, One of the things that we wanted to talk to you about is the first thing is, you've been if you're familiar with Bootstrap, you store your JavaScript file in the head section, and there's a lot of controversial that people would say, hey, put everything in your head file, load it in your head file, and then your body, like your Bootstrap. There's another theory is store everything in your body at the bottom of your HTML, like I'm doing right here. All right. The third is an external file. Okay, so you got three schooling where to store your file, and I'm going to tell you by the end of this this exercise that this discussion is where you want to store it. The other part I want to talk about is about selecting the elements. Now, selecting the elements is, I should really break it down to, is it's more about you access the elements with it. So using JavaScript to access with it, this is what, there's two parts of this exercise to it, is JavaScript accessing, I should say, JavaScript access or selects the HTML elements with it. So that's two parts to this thing. One is to read the JavaScript that you're pulling it from. You could read things from the title, certain elements from it, like the DOM model that we just looked at. How do you pull out information from it, and also how do you write to it and replace to it as well. So I'm going to do some demos with you for you to see what I'm talking about. So that's what this whole thing is about with it. So basically, how do you access the elements and select and manipulate them with it as well. So let me end it with right now with it, and I'm gonna give you a few seconds to gather your thoughts in this, and I'm gonna start on the editing of the code right now. Okay. Hi, I want to pick up part two of the where to store your Java and how to access your HTML elements and all that. This is part two. So we left off at this part right here, and let me talk to you about where we need to move forward on this. It's a basic skeleton right now, and this is what we have right now. How you get this, and it's just an empty JavaScript right now. So I've attached at the bottom of the index.html, linking it to the MyScript JavaScript with it as well. So this is where I'm at right now with it. But and I gave it a title. This is my title. So I want to just bring up some key concept before we start on forward on this. And I just created both of these files are in a directory that I have with today's date on there with it as well. So let me move forward with this and let everybody start with this. So what I'd like for you to do is, if you can take a look at this file, I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna put in an h1 tag, just a simple header tag with it. And I'm gonna say this is heading h1 heading tag. All right, so we just know this is nothing too extravagant with this, and let's give this one a paragraph tag, and we call this is a p tag, paragraph for paragraph. All right, so we just stop right there. I just need some text to demo what I'm about to talk to you about with it. So right now I'm gonna do file save all. Both of these things to update both of our files with it. Right mouse click, open up your live server with it, and it's hopefully you have the let me word wrap this as well, view, and I'm going to toggle the word wrap with this, and let me show you on our web browser. And this is what you currently have right now. This is an h1 tag, and this is a paragraph tag, and this is my title up here is from here with it. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is, I'm going to see, we're going to write a JavaScript to actually change this, all right? Change this title tag right here with it. And first of all, we have to access it, all right? So in programming, one is to access and get a return from it. You read from it. And the other step is to write to it as well. So there are two basic concepts that you would actually do. You would read from it and you would write to it. So let's come over to our my script right now. In my script right now, and you're familiar with console.log, and in the console.log I'm going to use a variable. It's called document dot. Anytime I want to talk to you about the word dot, the dot syntax like this, console.log, and has left and right parentheses, you can use as a method. Anytime you see a name with a parentheses, it's a method. Method is, think of it as an action. The other option is if you have a dot syntax like this. After the dot syntax, if there are no parentheses, it is what's called a property. So in here, I'm going to use the property of the title. All right, the title. So I would like to return the property of the title and put a semicolon in this. And here's what I would like to do is I want to keep both of these things on screen so you could see both of these windows on screen. So when I save this, you would see what's exactly happening right now. Remember, now, this is my title, right? So I'm going to control or do file save all, and it saves it. No big deal, no big deal. Come over to your Chrome browser for me. Make sure you have defaulting Chrome browser. Right mouse click, come down and select inspect for me, please. And you should see in the console, if you click on the console, this says this is my title. This is my title, is this title right here. All right. Now I want to point out here, this does not have the tags, the opening tag of the title and closing of the tag title. I just want to make a point of that. All right. So make sure you see what I see up here as well. In the lab, I asked you to take a screenshot of this, okay, of this whole, showing it. There is a title tag. So if you want to take a screenshot of this whole thing and paste on there, that's part of the assignment with it. All right. So here, so you have this right here. So let's say I want to change it. All right. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say this whole document right here. This whole document .title here. This is an important set of code. I'm going to paste it down here using that same. And in programming, that when we use a single equal sign, it means the right side equals the left side. This is your right side. It is now stored into the left side. Just remember that. That's universal. Any programming language that you see. So if you see something like an equal sign, think always the right side is stored into the left side, whatever that left side is. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be some sort of variable. In this case, we're storing it into the title property. So in this case, I'm going to use an apostrophe as a string. And I'm going to say I got this title is changed by Dan. All right. So I'm going to say a simple text like that. Put a semicolon, ends it. Now, I'm going to tighten this so it's a pair, and it doesn't really matter whether it's not. But I want, the moment I do Control S, I want you to look at this. This is my title. This should be changed, right? So I want you to notice this tab up here with it. So Control S, watch. Okay, so did you see that title now is changing? The title, this title is changed by Dan. This string is this, all right? So this is just to demonstrate for you, even down here, it doesn't return, it just returns this particular text. How I got this, I clicked on the console. Make sure you have it on the console with it. So I asked you to take a screenshot of this whole thing using the snipping tool and paste it in there, and just to show me that you did this as well with it. So that's one thing, is for you to see how this works with it. Now I'm gonna come over here. Let me comment this out. Just comment this out for the sake with it. And I want to come back to this over here with it. So I want to take this. I want to just put a paragraph tag right now instead of the and I want to change this into a paragraph tag. And I want to change all of this in a second. So this is a paragraph tag. Let me change this. Is a regular P tag. How's that? Okay. And the second one I want to change to is, I want to call this an ID. Now, if you remember in your CSS from Web 1 or Web 2, if you have me for Web 2, I beat you to death with Cascade style sheets with it as well. So this first one I'm going to call is an ID underscore ID1, okay? And I'm going to call this, I'm going to say this is a paragraph. This is a P tag with an ID, alright? And I'm going to take the same line right here. This time, remember ID are unique, and the difference, there's an ID and there's the other one is the class. And with the class, we call this one is, I'm just going to call this class 1. And then I want to say this is a P tag with class. Okay, so that's that. And then I want to add in a couple of other paragraph tag. I'm just regular, can't spell. So let me take this right here, and we'll add in another one. I'll say this is a paragraph. This is a lower paragraph. How's that? And this one is, let's say this one is another one. I'm going to say this is another paragraph underneath it. So I'm just using some of these P tags to demonstrate what I'm about. Another paragraph tag. So just to give you 3, 4, 5 of these P tags to demonstrate what I'm about to do, to show you that we have content to work with right now with it. So before I move on, I want to make sure this is what you have. This is approaching 10 minutes here. It's now 9 minutes or so. So make sure you have what I have up here, and I'm going to stop the video right now. This is the end of the second video before I start with the third one, okay? So before I move on.